Hey everyone, welcome to day one of the Summer Writing Challenge. I'm super excited to do this 5-day challenge with you all. And what we're really doing in this challenge is we are figuring out shifts and changes we need to make in order to make our summer writing the best that it can be, especially under the circumstances. So, what I'm going to be teaching in these 5 days of the challenge are are things that I teach inside of my paid programs, including the Writing Roadmap program, and they're going to help you to really craft a summer that that the writing gets done at whatever level is appropriate for you during this pandemic. Hi, Sigrid. Nice to see you joining from Germany. Let me know if you're here in the comments. I'd love to know where you're joining from and how things are going. Today's topic is goals. Hello, Aztec from Las Vegas. Okay, so today's topic is goals. Now, when people talk about writing goals, the common way that people talk about writing goals is as word count goals. That is like the typical way that we talk about writing goals. And I personally have a problem with word count goals. Now, all the advice I ever give, I always tell people, if you're doing something that works for you, then don't mess around with it too much. Like if it's working, don't mess around with it too much. But I imagine that you're here to hear different opinions and what different people are doing. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today in terms of writing goals. Hi, Carolyn in Frankfurt. We got a lot of Germans on this call. And Diane's in Scotland. Yay. We got people in Miami and Nashville and Pittsburgh. Great. And in the Netherlands. Hello, Serena in the Netherlands. So goals. So a lot of people think about their writing goals in terms of word count goals. And there's kind of a general philosophy of getting writing done that says, write 500 words a day, every day, no matter what happens. And that, my friends, is a way to set yourself up for failure, especially if you are a parent during a pandemic. And even just anybody during a pandemic. We are dealing with such like a variety of different stressors on our lives that we weren't before, that any system that relies on daily anything is probably not going to work out. Like it feels, speaking of working out, I'll give you an example. So I have a personal trainer who I go to. I'm very, lucky and fortunate to be able to go to a personal trainer. But of course I can't go to her because we're in quarantine. And so she's been sending me workouts to do via text message. And now she has an app. She's setting them up in the app. And when I would go to her in person, I would go 2 times a week, right? And then since we're in quarantine, she's sending me daily workouts to do. And I can't handle it. And it's but it's not that I don't have time, because I do actually have time. And there's a lot of barriers taken down to me working out because I'm home. I could shower or not before or after the workout. It doesn't matter. I don't have to drive anywhere to go and get the personal training, right? Actually, there's a lot of barriers that are taken down, but that doesn't mean that I can sustain daily workouts, whether I should or shouldn't. I definitely walk every day, but besides that, I can't sustain it. And part of the reason that daily word count goals or my comparison with daily workouts doesn't work for me is because I'm not motivated enough by break the chain goals. So a break the chain goal means that the motivation, this is how the app Duolingo works for language learning. The motivation behind it is don't break the chain. You've been doing it for X many days in a row. Don't break the chain. So my concern with that when it comes to writing is that type of goal is relying on you feeling guilty or bad if you do break the chain. So instead of looking for positivity, what's actually happening is that you're avoiding negativity. And I feel like the brain just sees negativity. There's no, there's no distinction in the mind about that. You just keep feeling guilt, potentially. So I'm going to stop messing with my necklace. Sorry. You keep feeling guilt and overwhelm about if you break the chain or you don't break the chain. So that's why I don't love word count goals. Okay. Instead, what I want to talk to you about are task-based goals. So I just want to say that if you are new, if you're just catching this video and you're like, what is the Summer Writing Challenge? We have a link for you to sign up in the description of this video. And the reason to sign up is because every morning we send you like a little thing to do. And today's thing to do is about setting goals. And we also, if you sign up, then we send you a workbook where you can write your goals and write the things we talk about inside your workbook. All right. That way you can get back to it later and it's not just watching Facebook videos. So today in that email that I sent to the people who registered, I asked you, I talked about when you articulate a goal, it can't be like my goal is to finish my article this summer. And then you write that onto your to-do list. There has to be more steps. And those steps are to break that project, that big goal that you have, to break it down into tasks. And tasks are the things that go on your to-do list. So in my programs, I teach okay, here's how you break a project into tasks. Here's how how small to make those tasks. Here's how you estimate the time it's going to take you to take those to do those tasks. And so what I want to encourage you to do is instead of a word count based goal, to think about creating writing goals that are task based. And here's how this works for me in my own writing. So I actually use a combination of task-based and time-based goals. And again, like in my programs, I talk more about this. I talk about how you figure out which type of writing goal is best for you. But I'll just give you an example from my own self, which is, you have a project, right? Your goal is I'm going to write chapter 5 of my book, right? Then you have to take time, and it does take time. And I know all of you are worried about time to write, but these planning writing activities actually reduce wheel spinning. They reduce those feelings of like, I don't know what to work on next. So you need to take planning time. You take planning time and you break that project down into tasks. Okay, to write chapter 5, I know I need to go back and read this article. I need to revise the introduction. I need to create this chart. I need to, whatever. Break it all down. And very simply, you could begin with the headings that you imagine the chapter will have. Or for an article, the parts of the article, right? Intro, lit review, theoretical frame, whatever the parts of the article are that you use in your field. So you make that task list. And those are the smaller, like in the email that I wrote this morning, I called them like micro goals. And here's why you need those smaller goals or those tasks. You need them so that you can check them off and so that you can feel like, wow, I accomplished something. Because you're going to hear me talk about this, and tomorrow we're going to talk about rewards, and it's completely related to this. But part of the kind of method that I use to teach academic women how to write and publish more is that the whole experience around writing needs to be as positive as possible. We spend so much time feeling crappy about ourselves and our writing. And part of academia, it trains us to feel crappy about ourselves and our writing. The whole critique process, the peer review process, although it's super, super important, is, a person who you don't even know their name or face criticizing your work. It's so scary, right? It feels horrible a lot of the time. So we want to make sure that within the things about writing that we can control, that we're controlling things so that we are having positive experiences with the writing. So one way to do this is to break your big writing goals into micro goals or smaller tasks. And these tasks are things that you can accomplish, right? So think about the length of time it would take you. If you put write chapter 5 as your goal or your thing on your to-do list, it would take you months, maybe a year to check that off. So we don't want to do that. We want to have that satisfaction of being successful as much as possible. So in the Summer Writing Challenge, every single day, the underlying thing that we are building is our feelings of success around our writing. Because if you can feel more successful, like Lisa just said, I couldn't agree more that much of our training in the Academy trains us to feel crappy about writing. So we need to untrain yourself. Like you need to unlearn those beliefs that you have really about yourself as a writer and consequently as an academic, and retrain and take back the writing as something that can be positive. So you broke your project down into tasks. You know that the tasks are the things that are going to move you forward. They're the things we want to check off the list. They're doable actions. They're small enough. And again, like in my programs, we talk exactly about like how big or small to make them. And then what you can do is you have your task goals. You can also have time goals. Okay. And then what I do is I lay those two things on top of each other. So a time goal is to say like, okay, well, I'm not going to do a word count goal. And I'll explain more about what things I don't like about word count goals in a second. But I'm not going to do a word count goal. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I want to write 1 to 2 hours a week this week. And I have other trainings and other places where I talk about this concept of tiger time. You can specifically look at episode 2 of the podcast for that. But basically, the idea is you don't need to do it every day. If you would like to do it every day, you could, right? But you don't need huge blocks of time to get your writing done. And you don't need everyday writing to get your writing done. And you don't need a word count goal. What you need is to feel better about your writing. What you need is to have a positive relationship with your writing. The way to get that is you create for yourself some time-based goals. So like, okay, my goal is to do 2 half-hour sessions or 3 half-hour sessions of writing this week. You know, I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to do it during my tiger time so it feels good. And that's my goal. And then you go to your task list, which you can think of as like a bucket of tasks, right? And during your half hour, you're pulling tasks. All right, let's see. What task on this list do I feel like I could finish in half an hour? Soup. And you work on that. And then you can give yourself a check mark or give yourself a sticker. Start a sticker chart. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, where you say like, okay, I hit my time goal and I hit a task goal as well. And to me, that is more doable. It's more sustainable than a word count goal. Because here's the thing about a word count goal. A word count goal, and people who preach word count goals say this. They say, if you can't write 500 good words, don't worry, just write crap. And then you'll go back and edit it. And, the value of that is thinking like, okay, everything is editable. Right? And it is. And understanding and acknowledging that editing is a big process, so a big part of the writing process. So I get that. But it feels horrible to just slug out 500 words on a page that you're not actually going to use because they're crap, because you had to strain and struggle to get them out. It makes you feel bad, and it makes you feel, I can't even write 500 words like that. Ugh, it feels horrible. And then just doing it and doing it over again, yes, again, if that motivates you and you're one of these people who's like, I did it. I just slugged out 500 words a day every day for 30 days, outstanding. Like if that works for you. But what I'm calling you to do as part of the summer writing challenge is think about how you can improve the relationship with your writing so that when you sit down to write words on the page, it feels better. It feels like you're in control because you have a task list that you know what you need to work on. It feels doable because the everyday part of it is taken out, and there's just a lot of pressure. The everyday thing is a lot of pressure, unnecessary in my opinion. So that's what I want you to think about today. I want you to think about how have you been setting writing goals, and how could you maybe, after listening to this video, think about a better way to set writing goals. And I will say again that within the Writing Roadmap program, for example, I teach about these 3 types of writing goals, right? The word count goal, the task-based goal, and the time-based goal. And I talk about how you can combine them with other things I teach about writing systems in order to create something that works for you, and something that most of all, the most important thing is that you are hitting goals, that you're actually, that you're actually successfully completing tasks. All right. This has been about a 15-minute live stream, and I don't want to go longer than that, although I love that I can see that there's still 72 people here. Hi, 72 people from all over the world. That's so awesome. I will just wrap up by saying, if you register for this Summer Writing Challenge, you get a beautiful fillable PDF that walks you through each of the day's activities and gives you a place, a container in which to complete those activities. And also you get the morning email. And the morning email is going to tell you about, give you a little exercise to do. At the end of this challenge, you should have fine-tuned your writing practice and prepared yourself to meet your summer writing goals. I'll be live every morning at 10 o'clock every day, and the last live will be Friday at 10. So all of those lives are scheduled on my Facebook page, so you can go ahead and set reminders for them, and definitely sign up so that we can get you your workbook. Okay, I'll answer a quick question from Deborah. She says, how would you break up studying for comp exams? Oh, that's not really a writing question right now. So I think that's a big question to answer. So I guess my gut reaction would be to do what I did, which was make giant lists of things you need to read and be just plowing through each thing and taking notes. But it depends so much on how your comp exams are structured. A few things I will say is that I totally recommend to graduate students to use a program like Mendeley or Zotero so that you're really tracking those things that you've read, that you take notes in there, that you're able to put your finger on the different sources that you have consumed. And Deborah has to write 5 papers for her comps. Yes. Hannah says, could you please let me know when we'll get the PDF handouts? So in each email, it says, P.S. Don't forget to grab your fillable PDF workbook. Okay. So make sure that go back to your emails, Hannah. The email should have come from writing@kathymazak.com. And there should be a link in a PS that says, don't forget to grab your fillable PDF workbook. I think it's in every email that we're going to send. It was in yesterday's email. And it should be in the confirmation email, but don't worry. I will check in with my team and just make sure that the PDF workbook is linked up in each of those emails. And if we find out that it wasn't, we'll send a separate email to everybody who registered. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.